What's up everyone, my name is MadiKuma. Splatoon 2 is out and it's time to get fresh and stay fresh. So in order to do that, I'm compiling some guides with some simple hints and tips that should help out when using various weapons. A little disclaimer, I'm no expert on any of this, but instead just a humble squid offering my thoughts free of charge. Although we will be doing some charging in this video, because we're going to be looking at the heavy Splatling. I'll try keep things quick, so let's dive into things. The heavy Splatling is notable for its charge time. Unlike other weapons, it cannot go into the middle of battle and start firing. It needs a second or two to charge before a real string of shots will come out. It's this mechanic paired with its long range that really determines the way it should be played. Like any long range weapon, this really shouldn't be on the front lines when going into battle. As I see it, the Splatling is like a tank, positioned at the back of the team, slowly advancing forward with them. One of its most important roles in a team is to try and gain map control and maintain it, while still sneaking in some splats. This means making sure the map is covered in your ink and not the enemy's. Equipped with a sprinkler and decent inking ability itself, it's good at starting off some decent coverage for your team. A rule of thumb I generally play by is only extending myself by half my range when moving forward. It's much easier to show what I mean. I always want to make sure I'm surrounded by friendly ink to ensure that A, I won't get flanked, B, any enemies would have to physically ink a path into my territory to be in range to splat me, meaning I should have the time to react by either retreating or attacking first. Of course, players are unpredictable. This isn't always going to be enough to save you, and there will be times during a push where you may need to extend beyond this, but it's just a general idea, mostly for when there's a lot of action in the middle ground, or the enemy team's making a push. Try gain the turf control first, so you can safely start to advance with your team. This will also really help out the short range weapons in your team. Another point to note about this is that if after a push your team is a few squids down, it's probably best to retreat some and go back to maintaining that turf control until your team's all alive again. Okay, but this is all very general, but what about getting splats? Don't they matter too? Of course they do, so here's some tips for that. The Splatling needs to charge, but an important thing to note is that it doesn't require a full charge in order to splat. In fact, it doesn't need too much charge at all. It's a good idea to mess around in the training yard to get a feel of different charging lengths and how much firepower they give you. Charging for longer is generally best to be on the safe side, but if you have to act quickly, it's vital to know just what you can get away with. Like I said, players are unpredictable, and even though you can be playing defensively on the back lines, there will still be times where you'll be caught off guard and need to act quickly. But speaking of full charges, try not to let them go to waste. One of the most important things to note about Splatlings is that after you let go of your charge, it will keep firing until it's all used up, taking a hefty chunk of your ink tank with it. However, should you turn into squid form during this, it will cancel the charge and allow you to freely charge once more. So if you start firing and realize a squid is out of range or too quick, you can dive into the ink, re-aim and try again without having to wait out your whole firing animation. This helps keep your aim more precise as well as not wasting your ink tank. And one of my last major tips for Splatlings is to find cover while you charge. Just like snipers, peeking is a very valuable action for Splatlings. Hiding just around the edge of a wall while you charge a weapon and then peeking out to use it. To put it simply, this is to save your butt. You're vulnerable as you charge up, so make sure you're protected. Okay, so I think I've covered the basic weapon, but how about its sub and special? I'm going to try go over this quickly, but if you want a guide on the specific subs and specials, let me know. Sprinklers, great for turf control and especially splat zones. Stick them somewhere annoying. This means somewhere hard to reach, or somewhere that players may receive damage from them, such as above ledges, so they get damage as they climb up to reach it. And the Stingray, one of my favourite specials in the game, even though at first I hated it. This requires some interesting aiming. My biggest advice for this is just like the old killer whales, try aiming for people in narrow spaces, in small corridors or boxed in somewhere they think is safe. If they only have one point of escape, it should be fairly easy to predict their movements and follow them with the laser. It can also be great for targeting far away enemies who are immobile because they think they're safe, such as a hiding enemy using Tinta missiles or an enemy sniper. My second point is to take your time. Take a second to see where the squids are with the thermovision before firing, and if you're not hitting anything, stop, re-aim and try again. It's quite slow to move though, so remember you might need some drastic movements in order to get it really moving. And lastly, the stingray can be great support. Even if you can get a few hits on your enemy to make them weak, your team should be able to follow this up with their own firepower and finish them off. So I think that's everything I have to offer in order to help you stay fresh. So what do you think? Did this guide help you? Or is there a different way you like to play the weapon? Drop a comment down below to let me know. And let me know what guide you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Happy splatting, everyone!